Bitcoin is trading above previous month's value area low, and if we're able to spend 2 consecutive 4-hour candles above this zone, we have an 80% chance of going to previous month's value area high at $120,000. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you the odds and the likelihood of us having this setup and pushing above the $120,000, or what are the chances of us actually putting in a failed auction and pushing towards the $110,000 zone. So if you like these videos, please give it a second and leave a like on these videos because I love seeing your support, and leave a comment about which altcoins you want me to look at on the next video as well, because on every single YouTube video I'm going to look at one more altcoin that you requested on the comment section. So let's get started and talk about what are the odds and what are we going to see next for this week on Bitcoin. Now, as I said, currently we are above previous month's value area low that comes in at 115.8K. This is crucial for the market because there's a classic setup that was created by Jim Dalton where he suggests that if we're able to spend 2 4-hour candles above previous month's value area low, we have an 80% chance of actually fulfilling and pushing to previous month's value area high, filling the whole value right here. So currently, what we should be looking out for next is, are we going to finish this candle above this zone, and then are we going to have a full-on rejection with the next one, or are we able to hover around here, which would confirm us that we now have a great setup on our hands. So let's talk about the setup first, and then we're going to talk about the bearish case afterwards as well. So as I said, the candle right now closes in 19 minutes. So in 19 minutes, we're going to learn if this candle is the first one that we have above the previous month's value area low. If that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for another 4 hours. Even though it could mean that we end up pushing a bit higher on the chart, I'm going to wait until that 4-hour candle closes. And if we're able to close it around this zone or around this zone, doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's above previous month's value area low, it means that we now have a great setup in our hands. And that setup plays as this goes. So let's say we finish this candle above this zone right here in this area, right? And then the price comes up, comes down and does this, and we finish the next 4-hour candle around this zone here as well. Now, this would mean that the setup is now active. And when the setup is active, you don't have to long the market as it's getting active. What I usually do is, once the previous day's value or the previous month's value setup is active, I wait until there's a retracement back to previous month's value area low, and then I look for long positions with an 80% chance of winning the trade. So this would be the long trade that I would look out for on the chart if we end up finishing 2 consecutive 4-hour candles above this zone. So I wouldn't long it as the candles close. I would wait until this retest is done, and then that would be my first take profit one, and then I would aim for new all-time highs next at $123,000. Now, this might look like a fairy tale, or this might look like this, circle bullshit, but we had this exact same setup yesterday on NASDAQ, and Tag Team actually won a trade thanks to this setup. As you can see, if I open up the days, you can see here that when we opened up yesterday, right around here, we were below previous day's value area low. So what I was looking for is, are we going to push above previous day's value area low and then spend 2 consecutive 30-minute candles above this zone? And thankfully, you know what we had right here? You can see right here, this was the first 30-minute candle above previous day's value area low, and this was the second one. And now in this zone, it was clear for me that we have an 80% chance of going to previous day's value area high. But even as this was the case, I did not take a long position right here. What I did was I waited until we came down and tested that previous day's value area low, had an initial reaction, and then entered the market right here. And as you can see right now, this is pretty in good profits. I had my take profit one at previous day's value area high, and now I am looking for new all-time highs on NASDAQ. So this is the exact same setup as we have on Bitcoin. If price is able to come around here and finish the candle, don't look for longs as the candle closes. Wait until we come down and hit the previous month's value area low, which would give you a beautiful continuation long on the chart. So this is the only long trade that I'm interested in, and if it's only active if we actually end up finishing 2 consecutive 4-hour candles in this zone. So I hope that is clear. If you have questions about that, please let me know in the comments. If you want to learn more about that, everything you need to know is in the tag team. We have a whole video about how to trade this thing, how to find your invalidations, how to find your targets, and if you should make these trades run or take full profits at previous day's value area high. So if you're interested in that area, please go to tag team and learn about them. Now, what would happen if we see a rejection right now? So let's say price is able to come down here, but it's unable to finish 2 consecutive 4-hour candles above this zone. So let's say price finishes this candle around here, and then in the next 4-hour candle, we sweep the highs, and then we just get below this zone. Well, if we finish the next 4-hour candle below this zone right here, this would be a classic failed auction setup, where you can see here that we try to push above a zone that is crucial for the markets, but we were unable to find value and find traders who wanted to accept that zone. So in that case, what I would do is I would do the reverse of that trade, which would be a short trade, which would give me a great risk-reward ratio once again here as well. So this would be a 3-to-1 trade, and you can see our invalidation would be the high that we put in on the next 4-hour candle. I would enter the market and at the end of that 4-hour candle, and I would aim for the range lows next on the chart. So this is the short trade that I'm looking for. It all depends on where the next 2 4-hour candles ends on the chart. So I am staying patient, and if you're watching this video, you still have many hours until either of these setups are active. So please wait, please be patient, and if you see any of these things occur, right? If the next 4-hour candle closes here, and you can see now 2 consecutive 4-hour candles above this zone, now your setup is active, and what you do is you just wait until we test that previous day's value area low for a long setup just like this one. So that is my analysis on the trading view. If we go back to Exocharts, what we can see here is that the current position that we have, right, with the current position that we have on Bitcoin, is that the price is pushing higher, and we are kind of seeing strength on the chart as well. If I open up the open interest here, you can see that since the lows, the open interest was actually on a great increase. But when we actually came into this zone right here, you can see that the open interest came down with a sharp decrease, which was signifying to us that either people were taking profits on their longs or people were getting stopped out on their short trades in the market, which both are great signs for a potential reversal or a continuation based on where we finish the next 2 4-hour candles. So looks good, right? There is no sign of weakness on the chart so far, and there is no sign of great strength on the chart, I'd say. It's just kind of a bit of both right here. You can see that CVD is neutral as well. There is no divergence on the chart. I think everything for now looks neutral and depends on where the next 2 4-hour candles will end. If we look at TPO, we can see here that we are actually printing a lot of single prints on the chart, which would mean that we are having an impulsive move. But if we start to see some acceptance into this zone, right? So if in the next 4-hour candle, as we talked about, we are seeing acceptance in the single print row right here, this usually signifies that we're gonna feel it hold. So be careful about these things. Don't get into positions right now. Wait until there's a clear sign of strength or clear sign of weakness on the chart before you make your final decision about where the market will go next. If you are wondering what level are we bouncing from right now, well, if we look at this right now, you can see here that we are hitting this yellow line right here. And if you're interested in what that yellow line is, we can go back and you'll see this is the aftermarket time point of control from the August 1st. So that is kind of important right here. This caused a reaction. The next one is sitting at 118.45. So both levels right here are pretty important to the chart. And currently, with the session that we have on London, we are yet to have a strong high on the chart. So I do believe that we're going to be putting in a new high on the chart either now or in the next 4-hour candle during the New York session. So therefore, I'm not looking for shorts right now. If you take a short at this point, I think it's too premature and you're taking a bit of a shitty risk, I would say, because what kind of weakness do you have on the chart right now? I don't see any. If we get back inside the range, yeah, you can make a case that, well, we tried to push above this zone, that we tried to push above 4 times, but we were unable to. But for now, just really hard to say that this is a bearish scenario. So therefore, I'm still looking for higher to come on Bitcoin unless we lose this zone right here in the next 4-hour candle. So that is my analysis on Bitcoin. If you like this, if you want more of these over the weekend or on Tuesday, please leave a like. I would love seeing your support. And now let's talk about our altcoin, which is XRP for today. Again, for next week, it's going to be a different altcoin that you write down in the comments. I will select one that I see, and I will analyze multiple of them, and I will see the one that looks the best and has a great setup on the market. So XRP today, we are looking great on the chart. As we can see right now, we had this weekly MPOC zone at 2.79, and we hit that level with an ABC zigzag, and now we are putting in this 1, 2, and a potential 3, 4, 5 elite wave count as we speak right now. So currently the chart still looks bullish because the structure is really good. As you can see right now, the count was extremely clear with this one. We had the A, B, C, we had the sub-wave counts right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and now we are clearly pushing up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially up to $4.6 on XRP. Again, this obviously depends on how Bitcoin reacts, but if Bitcoin is able to finish these 2 4-hour candles above this zone, I think there is no big resistance ahead of XRP other than new all-time highs on the chart. So therefore, I am still bullish on this one. And if the price is able to, again, if this is able to print 2 4-hour candles above this zone, I think you could get in with spot investments on XRP. I'm already an investor in this. I'm looking for higher prices to come, and it's not too far away from my entry here as well. So if you want to have a similar entry to me, here's your chance. So that's all I'm going to say about XRP. And one final thing before I go is, if you're interested in learning about TPO, about market profiles and how I read the markets, we have a new series on tag teams starting on Friday. We'll cover everything from the basics to single prints to buying tails, selling tails, about time point of controls, to finishing with proven trading setups that I have pulled my own statistics on based on the last 4 years data on Bitcoin. So please, if you're not on vacation, if you're home, if you have nothing to do, take August seriously, join the tag team and learn a true working way of making money in crypto. When you join the tag team, you'll have also access to our server, our Discord channel, where I analyze the charts every single day, and I gave my trade setups here as well. Here you can see the NASDAQ trade that I showed you a couple minutes ago is this one right here. You can see this was my entry. I took this one, no news today, so I didn't see a reason to wait for New York Open. And PDV setup completed. I'll take 70% off and leave the rest for potential all-time highs. This was at $23,000, and now we are obviously pushing higher on the chart. So if you're interested in education, if you're interested in our private channel, join the tag team. The link is in the description. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll make sure that I make a new video this week as well. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I will see you either in the tag team in my next video or inside Twitter. Bye-bye.